Hi, my name's Beth Burgess and I'm a recovery coach at Sort My Life Solutions, or Smiles. Today I'm just going to talk to you about cross addiction. It's one of these things that some of you may experience if you've quit drinking or taking drugs or something else that you're addicted to. So what is cross addiction? Basically it's when you start acting out other behaviours which are addictive, so you can transfer your addiction to something else. So for example, when I quit drinking, I first found that I was acting quite addictive with sugar. It's now moved on to caffeine. It's one of those things, it's a pain in the bum. It's basically, it's a shame because you quit one thing and you kind of get out of that whole cycle of addiction, and then you find you're sort of, you know, moving it across to something else. And to me, when I first sort of encountered it, I felt like, you know, nothing's changed then, I'm still an addict, and that was quite disheartening. But I've actually researched into it, and there's a reason why we get cross addicted, and it's not about, you know, not having strength of character, it's nothing like that. It's actually due to an enzyme in our bodies. So when you become a long-term addict, I'm going to put this as simply as I can without going all sciencey on you, there's an enzyme called delta OFSB, and when you become a long-term addict, it's almost like a gateway that's opened through this enzyme that you can get addicted to all sorts of things. So where before you may have been the one who was, you know, saying, oh, let's have another drink and another one, you'll find that when you've become a long-term addict, you can get addicted to other things. So it might be you're the one that wants the last biscuit in the packet, or you're the one that, you know, you go to a theme park and you want to go on the roller coaster again and again and again. It's kind of like a sort of part of your brain that's seeking a high all the time. So yeah, I was quite glad to find out there was a reason for it, because I did feel like, and you might feel like that as well, that you sort of, you know, well, I'm still an addict then, nothing's really changed. And that's not the case, actually. You've done a lot of hard work to get over your addiction, and, you know, the fact that it's moved on to something else isn't really your fault. It doesn't mean that you should put up with it. What I've found is that, for example, my sugar thing, when I first quit drinking, I was absolutely on the sugar all the time. I would be able to go to the shop and buy several, you know, packs of biscuits and chocolate and stuff, and just eat them all in one go. No matter how ill I felt, I still wanted to continue. But I obviously couldn't do that. I have a health condition, which means that I can't do that. So I quit that, and then it went on to the caffeine. And I'm very mindful of how much caffeine I drink, but I know it's still too much. So, I mean, I don't know really if it's a mechanism that you can ever beat. What I would say is that if you can, try and get your addiction onto something a bit healthier. So you do have people that get addicted to things like going to AA meetings. You have people that can get addicted to running. You know, so if you are finding that you're getting addicted to something that's really quite unhealthy, try and move it on to something that's more healthy for you. And as part of this, I don't know, like I said, if it's ever something you can beat, but I'm willing to try, because actually I don't want to be an addict all my life. It may be something I have to accept, but I don't really want that label, because I did find, even with the caffeine, sometimes I felt like I couldn't look the shopkeeper in the eye when I was buying like a load of energy drinks or coffee, and I had the same sort of, you know, bit like shame and guilt around it, which isn't a good place to be. So while knowing that history has made me a bit more accepting of it, and knowing that that's a mechanism and a biology thing that I can't necessarily change, I'm still going to try. So I'm gonna try and experiment with it using mindfulness, which is something I teach my clients actually to deal with all different aspects of their life. It's a DBT skill, and I explain more about it on my website. But I'm going to try and experiment basically with caffeine to see if I can actually quit that addiction. It may not work, it may go on to something else. I hope it's running next. Who knows? But anyway, if you do want to check out the experiment, go to my website. It's www.smyls.co.uk. I'll put the link below, as always. And check me out on Twitter as well. I'm Beth Smiles. I'll put the link below there too. Yeah, and you can see how I'm doing with it. Like I said, it may not work, but, you know, I do feel better for knowing there's a reason for it, and I hope that you feel better for knowing that too. And like I said, if you can't beat it, put it onto something that's not damaging. You know, get addicted to reading or something. That's a good one. Anyway, I'll catch you soon. Thanks. Bye.